What's up, guys? Thanks so much for tuning into Game Show Maniacs. It's your girl, honestly, and I'm back with another Big Brother eviction prediction. You guys know this is a regular thing now here on Game Show Maniacs, and I'm happy to come back with another prediction for week 6. Now, before we get into anything, I do want to take a minute to just congratulate the Queen, Rachel Riley, on winning HOH. I'm very happy that Rachel was able to pull out the win, and she did live up to the expectations, in my opinion. I felt like I wanted something a little bit spicy, not as spicy as Ava's HOH, but I still wanted something that wasn't going to be like a cookie cutter HOH. And that is exactly what Rachel gave. And yeah, we do want to give her props right away. And let's get into the predictions. Now, with the first scenario that we're going to go over, this one I would say is a scenario that maybe not a lot of people would want to see. Now, right now on the block currently, we have Morgan, Mickey, and Riley. Riley and Mickey are not fan favorites. I've been seeing what everybody's been saying on X, on Facebook, pretty much everywhere. Nobody likes Riley. A lot of people think he's a creep. And then not a lot of people like Mickey. And Mickey did it to herself, and I can't defend the shit that she's done. Let's just keep it real. Now, with two of the least favorite house guests being on the block right now, we really don't lose too much unless we get both of them to stay and we lose Morgan. So I think that is when it's going to be like a damn, this really isn't a good HOH week. I personally, at first, I was considering like wanting Mickey to stay over Riley just because I felt like she plays the game a little bit more. Riley is really just up Catherine's ass and being like a creep, doing a lot of different shit that people could even count as sexual harassment in some cases. But yeah, I would personally prefer for Riley to go, but I honestly don't give a damn who goes. So the first scenario we'll crack into is if Riley happens to win the BB Blockbuster. Now, if we see Riley win the BB Blockbuster, we would be seeing Morgan versus Mickey. Now, for those of you who are not up to date on like the live feeds and things that have happened, I do know that the Mickey Exposed party just recently happened, and a lot of people got together and they talked about their dislikes of Mickey and the things that Mickey has done that kind of rub them the wrong way or makes them, really not trust her anymore. So I know with that being said, Mickey isn't necessarily anybody's number one to work with, except Morgan, of course. And I think she's going to suffer if it came down to a vote. Now, of course, as you guys know, I'm always going to pull up a visual. That way you guys can see what I'm talking about and you can follow along. Now, what we can see here is that when it comes to Morgan's side, Morgan is almost going to win this vote unanimously, almost, from Mickey. We all know that recently there was a alliance created, the judges. Now, the judges may not be 100% legit. Some of them may not be taking it as serious, but it is something that they just got together. So you kind of don't want to blow it up right away if this is an alliance that you expect to kind of ride you along. It seems like they were all pretty serious, but you never really know. Now, with that being said, the judges have already let it be known how they want the votes to go down this week. The judges would, of course, keep Morgan because she's a part of the alliance. So I know in the judges alliance, we have Vince, Will, Rachel, Ashley, and Morgan. So with Morgan being on the block, she's going to get all of those votes to stay. So she's looking at having 4 locked votes to stay right away. Now, given that she'd be going against Mickey in this case, this is what actually ensures that she will stay. Ava has already told numerous different people that she doesn't really trust Mickey and that Mickey is not going to be saved by her. Ava would prefer to save Riley over everybody, but if it's against Mickey, Mickey is the sole person that she would prefer to go home, which is super crazy after last week. Like, super crazy after last week when they worked so closely with the HOH and Ava seemed like she would trust Mickey a lot. But I guess word got back to Ava that Mickey was considering putting her up on the block, or Mickey may have even told Ava. Honestly, guys, these feeds have been boring for me personally. This has been a very boring season feeds wise. So I have not watched feeds maybe as much as I should. So don't quote me on that last part. It could be either word got to Ava or Mickey told Ava. Don't remember. Now, with that case, she lost her vote right away with doing that dumb shit. So Mickey lost Ava's vote. Ava's saving Morgan in that case. Now, this week, with it only taking 5 votes, that means Morgan would officially stay just based off of those 5 votes right there that are pretty much locked. Now, if we keep going through the line, that way you guys kind of know how everybody else is going to vote. Catherine and Riley are going to vote together, and they're going to vote Mickey out. And then I also know Lauren is working with them closely as well, which is going to be voting Mickey out. Kelly and Keanu both would be voting Mickey out as well. So, from what I understand, given that the judges has now been formed and it's going to be a Morgan Mickey situation, and most people would prefer to work with Morgan, we would be seeing Mickey going home unanimously. And it actually seems like it's kind of like karma because Mickey has been playing very cocky, in my opinion. And she keeps saying, my side, my people. And you barely have any votes. You barely have any votes to stay, like at all. She's grasping at straws. But we'll keep going through the scenarios. Let me not spoil it for you guys. So that breaks down scenario 1. If Riley takes herself off the block, Morgan versus Mickey, Morgan wins unanimously, in my opinion. Now, the next scenario we're going to look into is if Mickey, the other quote unquote villain, wins the BB Blockbuster. Now, if Mickey wins, takes herself off the block, we are going to be seeing a little bit more of a crazy vote, and it is going to be much closer with Riley versus Morgan. Now, with Riley versus Morgan, we can basically assume that Morgan is going to have 3 votes that are pretty much locked, which would be um, Mickey, because that is her number 1, of course. Will, because Will did say that he would save Morgan. And then we also would be seeing Ashley as well. Those would be the locked votes that we're seeing for Morgan. Now, if we take a peek at Riley's locked votes, Riley has 4 locked votes to stay. So Riley, of course, is going to have his girl, Catherine. She's voting to keep him. Riley's going to have Lauren. She's going to vote to keep him. Kelly and Keanu. So he has 4 locked votes that are basically guaranteed. So what we're seeing this week is that Vince and or Ava are kind of in the swing position. Now, based on the live feeds, Ava did say that she wanted to keep Riley regardless, but she also has said that she would vote with Vinny. So um, I know I know Ava and Vinny have discussed that they're basically in the swing position, and they're like the only 2 people that don't have a locked decision just yet at the time of their discussion, of course. So if Ava votes with Vince, we could see Morgan staying if Vince chose to save if Vince chose to save Morgan, or we could see Riley staying if Vince chooses to save Riley instead of Morgan. So it really all is going to depend on Vince and if he does let Ava in on how he's going to vote. Now, Vince has been thinking about this heavily, and Vince has said himself that he does truly believe his best option is to save Riley and to get rid of Morgan. So that is definitely not the best news. And that does lead me to believe that it is very possible that Morgan could go home if it is Morgan versus Riley. So I would say this is actually the worst case scenario because I wouldn't want Morgan to go home and then we keep Riley and Mickey. That's actually the worst case scenario. Now, the last scenario that we're going to look into, and this is probably going to be the best scenario, I would say, and that is going to be if Morgan takes herself off the block. Now, if Morgan takes herself off the block, it could be another close week, but based on everything that I'm hearing so far and looking at everything that's been said, we would see Mickey going home in this case as well. Against Riley, Mickey has 3 locked votes. So she would have Morgan, Will, and Ashley as her 3 votes. You need 5 to stay. Now, Riley has the same 4 locked votes that we discussed earlier within the video. He has his girlfriend, Catherine, he's got Lauren, and then he's got Kelly and Keanu. Now, against Mickey, Vince has already said that he's saving pretty much anybody who's against Mickey. He's not saving Mickey if he has a choice to save her. Mickey has to save herself. So we know that he also would get Vince, and Ava also is oddly obsessed with him, so she would also be giving him her vote. Now, when we look at it like that, we're looking at it being split 6-3. Now, with the other house guests not liking a whole bunch of drama, if they do get word that it is going to be a unanimous thing and they are 100% aware that they weren't able to flip anyone like they hoped they could do, then I do believe Ashley, Will, and Morgan will just vote with the house. So that could be a unanimous elimination, a unanimous eviction for Mickey in this case. Now, overall, it seems like Mickey is in a lot of danger. It is it's really karma. I think it's karma. You know, she has done some things that are questionable. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, I can say she has done things that are questionable. Now, with that being said, Mickey has burned a lot of bridges and ruined a lot of relationships with the people that are left in the house. And in my opinion, she shows that you can lose something just as fast as you can acquire it. Because Mickey did have the trust of a lot of people in the house, and a lot of people were at her beck and call. And just as quick as she got them all to do that, they all have now turned on her. And she is actually required to win the BB Blockbuster in order to even stay in this game. So good luck to Mickey. We will definitely see. We do know that people like Riley and Morgan actually have a chance at the vote. So I think it's more for Mickey to win. This is almost like a 750K BB blockbuster. Now with the house, it's been spicing up. There's been a lot of movement. There's been a lot of changes. So this week with Honestly's Dangers list, I didn't get to put much thought into it because I know that it's Big Brother. Expect the unexpected. You know, when as soon as you expect something, it changes on you. So I know based on connections and relationships in the home, I would say that Ashley, Keanu, and Catherine will be in the most danger this week. The reason why I chose those three were pretty much the same reason, which is that there is a lot of people that are willing to put them up. And if they're not put up initially, either of them could be a renom for a lot of people. So I know in that instance, since we do have to do three nominations and it's possible to do a renom, this is why I would say that those players are going to be in a little bit more danger. Now, the only pick that I hope I'm wrong about is the Keanu pick because I really do like Keanu. I think he's great to watch and he's a really good competitor and he has a really good mind to be able to go through all that in the Big Brother house. So I definitely don't want him to be in danger, but you know, I'm just going based off of the game. Well, guys, that does wrap up the video for today. And that is going to be my week 6 prediction. I think I am going to be right. I've been pretty accurate every week. I am correct on who's going to go home. I may have the votes a little bit, not 100%, but I am pretty confident that who I say is going to go home is going to go home in each scenario. So, thank you guys again for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. Be sure to stay on the lookout for my upcoming power ranking. It will be out before the week 7 eviction. Once again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also check out my ex, Lovely Leisha 7, for all updates live feed related.